We make people stick to a 15-minute minimum daily study, 15 minutes.
Which is really doable.
100%. We call it the focus 15 though. So in those 15 minutes, even your phone cannot be on silent. Silent is still distracting because you will get notifications. You gotta look who messaged me, who texted me. You put it either on flight mode or focus mode, or just put it away. Get up 15 minutes earlier. That's so doable. Just go to bed 15 minutes earlier. It will add structure to your life. Even though it's 15 minutes, doing this for 30 days, after that, it's going to be like, this is so easy.
It's a habit.
Exactly.
Habits take 30 days to set in place, and then after that, it becomes easier.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
So at that
That's
point,
in anything that we're doing
exactly,
in life.
Exactly. Once you realize how much you can do, just with 15 minutes a day, you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Let me go read a book for 15 minutes. By the end of the month, you'll finish the whole book.
My name is Lisa Hugo, and I'm obsessed with helping other people find and develop their voices so they can go out and take on the world, be seen as an authority, expert, and speak their truth with utmost confidence because they know that what they have to share will connect with their audience and make a difference. I studied performing arts and spent 20 years of my career traveling the world as a professional singer-songwriter. I teach you the secrets to speak up and be heard, overcome your fears, to build your speaking skills, and learn how you can use your skills to make a change both in your own life and the lives of others. This is your one-stop shop for all things confident speaking. This is Impact Through Voice. Well, hey there, friends, and a very warm welcome back to the Impact Through Voice podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Hugo, as always, and today I'm in the studio with the amazing Kareem, who is the founder of the School of Yalla. So welcome, Kareem. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
Absolute pleasure. All right, I want to let's start with Yalla.
Yalla.
Because not all of my listeners are from an Arab-speaking country, so they're not really going to know what does Yalla mean.
Yes. Perfect segue into the intro. Perfect intro question. Yalla is the most common spoken Arabic word. So you're going to hear it all, like everywhere in the Middle East. It means, come on, let's go, hurry up. It means all these things. So depending on the context of how you use it, yalla, 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 come on, come on, come on. Yalla, yalla, hurry up. So we've named our e-learning platform after that most kind of common spoken Arabic word because we're teaching spoken and conversational Arabic.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so Yalla, what I say to people, I notice it a lot in this region because it's only really found in the Middle East and in this Arabic language. I'm teaching people how to reduce filler words. And what I find is here, Yalla is a very strong filler word in that culture.
It could be a filler word. There's another very common one that's yani. You might have heard yani.
Yes.
And yani literally means it means. So, for example, marhaba, yani, hello. Marhaba means hello. However, we use it to mean like, I mean, like. So a filler word, just like English, like I mean, or meaning, or like. This is yani, yani, yani.
Yeah.
This is, I would say, probably, the most common as well. Like it's up there with the rest of the ones you hear.
True. So tell us a little bit about your background and actually first introduce what it is that you are doing.
100%. Okay, so School of Yalla, we're teaching conversational Arabic like we talked about, but we're trying to kind of disrupt the educational market, specifically the language education market. A lot of people, they think of language as boring, or you need to like be good at language, or you need to have a good memory, or you need a lot of time. We're trying to crush all these limiting beliefs. We make classes fun, but we also make things realistic. So we'll tell you, like, if you're putting in 15 minutes a day of consistent work over the span of a year, you're bound to see progress. And we'll tell people you'll not be fluent. You're not going to be fluent in 3 months. Language learning takes time, but you're going to see so much nice progress. It's going to be fun for you, and you're going to be driven to continue. You're going to be so excited about learning, and you're going to want to study more. So basically, we have an e-learning platform where people kind of log in and they take a course, an online course, and this is self-paced and self-study. And the other program is a coaching program where we work with executives whose main kind of objection to learning or challenge with learning is lack of time and, having a bad memory and all these limiting beliefs like I'm bad at languages. So we try to we aim to crush these limiting beliefs.
Yeah, and they are my target market as well. And I fully understand, yes, lack of time and all these limiting beliefs that they hold themselves back from.
100%.
So you've got two target markets. You've got the executives, the experts, those higher level people
Yep.
who need to learn a language or don't necessarily even realize that they need to learn a language. So
Yep.
you have to convince them. And then you have another group of people, is that basically everybody else who
So,
wants
yeah.
to learn it for themselves?
Yeah, I mean, our main demos are three things. One you already mentioned, like the executives, kind of people doing it for professional reasons. And then you have the people that are dating, engaged, or married to Arabic speakers. So for more personal reasons, I would say. And then you have the general language enthusiast, or someone learning, again, for personal reasons like religion and what have you. But yeah, these are kind of the main demos.
So what's your background?
Like where I'm from,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
academic, or work-wise?
Where you're from and how
Okay,
you
so-
got into this.
Okay, perfect. So I'm originally Palestinian,
Okay.
Jordanian. I was actually born in Canada, but at the age of 6, we moved to Jordan, my mom and I, and I ended up staying there until the age of 18, then went back to Canada, then worked into corporate. We can talk about that. But basically, this kind of helped me see things from both angles, because when I went to Jordan at the age of 6, I was like my first, even though my parents are, Arab, Palestinian, and we spoke Arabic at home, but I went to school and my friends were all Canadian. So I wasn't really speaking Arabic, and I was very shy to speak, and I didn't really, I would say, speak at a native level. So when I went to Jordan, when I was 6, it was very overwhelming speaking, and like I didn't understand anything.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you kind of absorb a lot faster. And by grade 2, I forgot about English. Like I even developed like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, it's
like an
amazing
English
how
accent.
fast it goes at that age.
100%.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But that helped me kind of see things from the angle of a fresh learner, like someone that has no background to Arabic. A lot of our target market, or a lot of our students, come from the US or Canada, or people like me, their background is Arab, but they're born and raised. I was born but raised in the
Okay.
Middle East, but a lot of them, they're born and raised abroad. So they understand, but maybe haven't developed, the conversational skills, the confidence to speak. So we help them with that.
Oh, that's interesting, because I was imagining that most of your market would be in a region like this here in Dubai, where people come in and they feel that they want to immerse themselves into a language and
Yeah.
be able to communicate and also get into the culture. And
Yes.
yeah.
100%. We have that demo as well. I mean, literally, when I run the workshops, when people show up, I would have like people share, first of all, their name, where they're from in Arabic, and then why they're learning Arabic. So it's literally 30, 30, 30, like 30%, 30%, 30%, and a few other just kind of learning for random reasons. But you're going to see these patterns, and most people either say, no, I'm learning professionally, I live in the Middle East, or I'm aspiring to move to the Middle East. I'm from
Okay.
the UK, from Europe, America. I want to move to Dubai or the region. And then you have people that be like, yeah, my girlfriend, my wife is an Arabic speaker. I want to be able to better communicate with the in-laws, which is very important, as you know. Sometimes you speak the same language, and it's there's a communication
Look,
barrier there.
I've been through that. My husband is not native English speaking.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Germany.
Ah, okay. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ich spreche Deutsch. Yeah.
Okay, sehr gut. Ich lerne Deutsch.
Yeah.
Ich
Habe ich
mag-
gehört. Okay, we'll switch back to English.
Yeah, sorry. I get carried away. But
Actually,
yeah,
they're arriving tomorrow morning,
Oh, amazing.
my in-laws. So yeah,
That's
they'll be
awesome.
back into German language for the week.
have you lived in Germany?
Yeah, I lived in
Awesome.
Germany for 6-7 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, you're definitely going to grasp the language there.
Yeah.
So you have the language learning genes. You can definitely learn Arabic, for
You
sure.
know, I think I do. And I noticed this. I think when you're a creative person, a musician, creative, I think we have a part of the brain that can absorb and pick up languages faster. And I'm curious to know, do you notice this with people that you're working with, that some people pick it up easily and other people, it's a real
sure.
struggle?
I haven't noticed it. I mean, I haven't like done the studies, or I don't have the data with regards to creative and non-creative, but I for sure see this like so clearly with regards to people that speak only one language, and typically it's English, and people that speak 2 or 3 or more languages. That's one kind of level. And the second level is people that learn that second or third language as adults. Typically, they'll see more success in learning a language because they've
Interesting.
unlocked the learning process.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of students that are that speak like 4 or 5 languages. Yeah, but it's because they come from mixed cultures,
Yep.
mixed backgrounds, and they grew up in a third culture kid. So they speak those three languages naturally just by being in the environment, but they haven't gone through the process of the standard process of learning. So those do have an advantage, but I find the people that have the most advantage are people that manage to learn a second or third language as adults.
I find that interesting because I would have thought it's the opposite. I would have thought that it's the kids who are absorbing it all growing up, that is the easier way. But okay, they don't learn the rules, let's say. Is that what you're referring
100%.
to?
So I thought that too. Is just kind of with regards to kind of the belief of learning. Like when you're a kid, and you, like, for example, a lot of people in the Middle East were bilingual. Like we'll speak Arabic natively, and then we have typically English is we have good English as well. So many people speak those two languages, but when it comes to learning the third, it's like, whoa, what's going on? It's totally different. But you have that person that already went through that process, and so they're like, okay, I get it. I understand the time investment.
Got it.
I understand the consistency, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Kind of mentally easier.
Yeah. Yeah, you've already been through it, so you understand what's involved, you know what you're capable of, and it's all about applying. And you know what I believe in learning a language, it's a lot about tuning your ears.
Yeah.
Because we learn everything by mimicking, by hearing and repeating, and that's how we pick up accents.
Right.
That's how we learn to use our voices as we're growing
That's
up.
the voice coach coming out, right?
That's the voice coach coming out. Yeah, but it's so true.
100%,
If your parents had really soft voices, then you will likely mimic and imitate that because that's what you've grown up with, as you say, growing up in environments where you've got multiple languages, you're just hearing it and you're just doing it.
Yep.
And so I'm not sure where I was going with that, but yeah, I do think that. What was my point there?
We're talking about like how if someone has any advantage of learning over another, and if they grew up in a speaking second or third language. So yeah, I would say for sure. But if you've unlocked it as an adult, from a mental standpoint, it's like you've proven to yourself you can do it.
So I was talking about tuning the ears.
Tuning the ears, right,
exactly.
and the voice too.
Which is why I believe that musicians are better at learning languages because our ears are astutely tuned to hearing sounds and being able to emulate those sounds. That's my theory. Now
that you mentioned that, I do recall we had a student who was actually a singer and songwriter. She spoke like 5 or 6 languages. She wasn't consistent with Arabic though, I'll say this. She did Arabic, she took our like 6-week course and then she's like, busy. But she is very good with languages. So yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to that.
So I want to know, when somebody comes to a new country, let's say I went to live in Germany, somebody comes to the Middle East to live, how important do you think it is for them to immerse themselves into the language? Depends
where. Okay. First of all, I think it's important regardless. As a language enthusiast and someone that believes in the power of language, it's 100% important. But, there's places where you need the language more than others. So for example, as you know, Dubai is a very international city. People get by with no Arabic, right? English is kind of the dominant language. But, it's going to give you that edge. We'll talk about that in a sec. But other places, like if you go to Jordan or Egypt, you're going to need, like people do speak English, but if you go that extra mile and speak, you're going to make your life a lot easier. And people will appreciate you a lot more. There's going to be less scams.
Okay.
They're not going to overcharge you, these kind of things.
Okay.
So 100% I would say it depends where, but I'm always an advocate for language learning the language of the country you're in, for sure.
So I always have been as well, except once I came here. And I did try to learn it here. I did 2 years of Arabic.
Okay.
In the Fusha.
Yes.
Fusha,
yeah. Fusha, perfect.
And I just felt it didn't get me anywhere.
Okay.
And I could read it, I could write it, and I could speak it to a point. But then when I went out on the street, it didn't seem to make any sense. People would talk to me and I didn't understand them because they didn't sound like what I'd learned.
Yes, 100%. This is a main kind of recurring theme or complaint with learners. Okay, so as you know, that there's, for the listeners maybe, typically we have 2 types of Arabic. One is Fusha, which is in English known as Modern Standard Arabic, MSA. This is the formal, institutional, academic Arabic. It's not used on a day-to-day basis. We use it during formal situations, like if you're presenting in the UN, putting together UN speech, you would use Fusha.
Okay.
The news broadcasts use Fusha. Poetry, Fusha. Okay?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Literature, Fusha. Okay, so if you want to read and write novels and, history books, whatever the case, Fusha. But conversation, day-to-day life, Fusha is never spoken. Like you cannot go to someone, you can't go to a supermarket, ask for something. You can do it. You can be like, أريد أن أشرب. You can say it in Arabic, but it sounds very heavy. Or أريد أن أشرب مياه. يعني it sounds very intense. People understand you, but it maybe not relate to you as much.
Okay.
So this is kind of the main. I get it from the academic standpoint. People are like, yeah, it's the standard Arabic. Everybody understands it. And we don't really speak, but we can speak if we want to. We can switch on the Fusha, but it's not used on a day-to-day basis.
See, I always found that frustrating. Also, watching my kids go through school here, where they have to learn Arabic to a certain age within this country, and what they were learning, they didn't seem to ever be able to use it.
Yes,
as you were saying there.
But I get it from, I guess, the academic, like the people putting together the academic programs. The challenge with teaching conversational Arabic is that we have dialects. So the question, which begs the question, which dialect do I learn? People start asking, like, which dialect? There's so many dialects. There are, but for example, I don't know if you want me to start talking about this because I can nerd out on this.
Go for it. I was actually going to ask about dialects, and different
amazing.
countries and the differences between the Arabic.
100%. So the way we kind of break things down, first of all, from a bird's eye view, generically, we have, I'm going to give you these four main buckets, and then there's obviously others, but the four main buckets: Levantine, and then you have Levantine dialect, and you have Gulf dialects, then we have Egyptian dialect, and we have North African dialects: Moroccan, Tunisian, Algerian.
Right.
These are North African.
Makes
Even
sense.
though Egypt is North Africa, but it's kind of a category on its own. Within Levantine, the Levant is the region composed of Jordan, Palestine, Syria, and Lebanon.
Okay.
This is the region. The Gulf countries: Saudi, UAE, Kuwait. Okay, GCC. So these are kind of the four main buckets. Now you dig deeper, you go narrower into each country. We have different accents. People will sound. You're gonna be like, oh, this person's from this country because you identify the accent as a native speaker. We know this. Yeah. Within the country, we have different accents. You can tell kind of typically where someone is from, what city or village, from the accent. But this exists in countries everywhere.
Exactly.
Right?
I was just going to say, if you go to the UK, you can hear exactly the same thing.
There you
can tell
go.
if somebody's from the north, from the south.
Exactly.
You can, if you know how to tune your ears in, you could say that person's from York.
Okay, 100%. Yeah. So the accent thing exists. It's more so like understanding the sentence structures, how the grammar's set up. The good news is what I tell people, not being biased. So the Arabic we teach is the Levantine dialect. So my background, Palestinian, Jordanian. We teach it in our accent, but you can still speak to anyone really and sound like a normal, not too uptight person.
Okay.
That's what I'd say. And people will understand you. I've been in Dubai the past 4 years. I met people from all over. People from, obviously, the UAE, locals. And then you have people from Saudi, Egypt, within the Levant, Morocco. They all understand us. So, and then if someone asks you, like, what are Arabic, you just tell them, and be like, I'm learning Levantine Arabic. Because a native speaker will understand you. Now, the challenge is you understanding them. So if they speak in like their, North, I don't know, York accent. And so you as a new learner, imagine you're learning English for the first time and you're exposed to like these really complicated, complex accents from the UK. You're going to be like, what?
This happened to me last week at the conference that we were both at.
Oh, yeah?
And I was talking to one guy, and that was fine. I could understand him. And another guy came and started speaking to him and me in the same conversation. And they were from the same place. And they could understand each other perfectly. But I'm trying hard to get this guy. And what was he saying? And I could not understand him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of background noise, which obviously didn't help.
Yeah.
But
there's some
there
accents
you go.
that are...
And I'm a native English speaker. But and I think
100%.
I speak pretty well. But I could not understand him.
There's some accents that are very for sure difficult to understand. I was in the elevator in London, and the guy was telling me things. He was smiling, so I knew it was good things, but I had no idea what he was saying. So I just nodded and smiled back. But a lot of people, they make the excuse. They turn this into a barrier to learning. They're like, oh, but there's so many dialects. Like, yes, but we still talk. The only kind of real kind of challenge for us or the dialects that we have trouble understanding coming from kind of the eastern part of the Middle East, the Moroccan dialects, the Algerian dialects, Tunisian. But the good news is they know how to change their accent to sound like us.
Right.
So they'll be like, oh, no way they're going to understand when we speak, kind of like your example. When they speak between each other, what is going on?
They can adjust.
Yes. I mean, in Moroccan, because it's a combination of like the Berber native language, Arabic, and French. So it's not even like fully Arabic. It's not 100% Arabic. That's why it makes it a little bit more difficult. But in this part of the world, it's all Arabic. It's mostly like how the words sound, changing a little bit of the accent, the word. But the grammar, more or less, with spoken conversation Arabic, I would say that very similar. But people, it's a lot easier to say, there's dialects I don't want to learn. It's a lot easier to make the excuse and actually try and speak to an expert, a coach, and speak to I don't know. I would warn against speaking to your friends, because sometimes some friends, they'll be biased toward their dialect and accent. They'll be like, I learned this, and they're not teachers. They wouldn't know how to get the message across.
Yeah.
But I would say it's always like a barrier. So kind of we need to get over that barrier, because we understand each other mostly. It's not an issue.
Okay. Can we learn a bit of Arabic today?
For sure.
So we can teach our listeners just some basics of Arabic, so they can introduce themselves.
You're gonna impress a lot of people if you in these 5 minutes.
After saying that musicians are really good at learning languages, let's see how it goes.
Let's circle back. I want to ask you, what do you know so far? What
Ana ismi Lisa.
Mumtaz. Okay. If you want to ask, what's your name?
I can't remember.
Okay, great. We're gonna teach this to the audience. So first of all, Lisa said, Ana ismi Lisa. Now, what we teach our students, we teach them something called the keyword method to memorize. Because you can repeat this, 100 times. You're probably going to remember it. But if you don't review tomorrow, you're going to forget it. So you need to have association. So you can even say ismi Lisa. You don't need the ana in this case.
Okay.
Because it's conjugated per pronoun. I don't know if I'm getting too nerdy now. But you can just say ismi Lisa, okay? So what I'll tell a learner that has no clue or is panicking when learning, I'll be like, what does ismi sound like? What does ismi sound like in English, in your native language? Ismi.
I, me.
Even closer. Ismi.
It's me.
It's me, exactly. So that's the first part. You break down the word into parts that you recognize. Yes, words or sounds you recognize in your native language. The second part, so you haven't really tied the loop yet in your brain, okay? The second part is telling yourself a story, okay? That's going to remind you of that scenario to trigger that word.
This is really helpful. We'll keep going with this. But for anybody who struggles to remember parts of a presentation, this is really useful. So 100%. Keep going.
Wow. So the second part is just telling a story. So it's me, what I tell students, imagine yourself in a conference scenario or at a networking event. And typically what do? You say your name. But I want you to imagine you're saying, it's me, Kareem. It's me,
Excellent.
Kareem. The next time I ask you, like, how do you say my name is in Arabic? You're automatically going to be like, what's that scenario I imagine myself? And the scenario should make sense. Okay, and you're like, I'm at a conference. What am I saying? It's me. It's me. Done. My name is. Okay.
Good. Okay.
So that's ismi. Ismak. Ismak means your name. So if you want to say what's your name, the Levantine dialect, you say shu ismak.
Shu ismak.
Very good. Shu ismak. Now this is where things are a little bit different than English. We distinguish between whenever we're talking to a male, whenever we talk to a female. So a slight change. So when you say
I remember that. That was complex.
Even in Fusha. Yeah, it's obviously in Fusha. So shu ismak to a male, to a female, shu ismik.
Okay.
Ak ik.
Okay.
So another association with that, you kind of try to tie Mac with a guy's name. I don't know, like it's Mac, I don't know, McDonald or Mackenzie, a guy, because I know there's Mackenzie girl, but any guy name that starts with a Mac. Okay. And then same thing with Michaela, for example. So it's Michaela.
Got it.
Yeah, it's Michaela. So and then shu, you try to it's an easy word. You just kind of repeat it. You repeat the phrases. So ana ismi, and then shu ismak, shu ismik. We're gonna give it a go. We're gonna try this. Okay. I'm gonna ask you, what's your name? I'm gonna say your name. You're gonna ask it back.
Okay.
Reciprocation in language learning is very important.
Okay.
Marhaba. Marhaba is hello. Maybe we should start with that. Marhaba. Mumtaz. Marhaba. Mumtaz is excellent.
Mumtaz.
Yes, very good. That means excellent. So if you hear me say Mumtaz, I'm praising your Arabic skills. Shu ismik?
Ismi Lisa.
Mumtaz.
Shu ismak?
Ismi Kareem.
Yay.
Very good. Amazing.
I had to think still.
That's great. Now, one more word that's going to help really people be very impressed with the Arabic. Again, we don't have to be fluent. What you mentioned this at the beginning. You need to know enough just to kind of break the ice, leave a good impression on people. Whether you're a salesperson, a doctor, any profession really where you deal with people and clients, speaking, going out of your way to speak their language, that's going to resonate with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to leave a positive impression because there's 10 other people doing what we do. Whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing, 10 other people. But how am I going to stand out? How are you going to stand out?
We making
this,
effort.
making the effort, exactly. Making the effort, going that extra mile. Be like, oh, Lisa, the lady that spoke Arabic and we had that laugh, done. I'm going to forget about all these people.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of thing. So one more thing we're going to learn. We can learn more things, but regarding this context is the word charrafna. This is hard, I know. We're going to break it down. So charrafna. So first part is cha.
Charrafna.
Very good. Charrafna. This is how we say like nice to meet you. Okay?
Okay.
Literally it's we're honored, but this is our way of saying nice to meet you. Charrafna.
Charrafna.
Charrafna. Yeah, this is one of those words you have to kind of what we recommend doing. You know, there's always different techniques, but some techniques we just go back to the drawing board and the basics, the fundamentals. In school, what do they teach us when it comes down to memorizing? If you want to memorize something, what do we do?
We
repeat,
it.
repeat 100 times. So what I tell the students, repetition is still king. If you repeat, the only thing you have to do is review, because we want to work on that recall, those recall skills, not just recognition. I don't want you to just see it in a multiple choice quiz and be like, oh, I know it. I want you to be able to extract it from your brain and use it.
Yeah.
So we tell the students, like, just count 5 times, but say the word in English and Arabic. So you say, or the phrase. So you say, nice to meet you, charrafna, that's 1. Nice to meet you, charrafna, that's 2. Nice to meet you, charrafna 3. Nice to meet you, charrafna 4. Nice to meet you, charrafna 5. You write down one line, or you write down the number 5, okay?
Okay.
You do it 5 more times. You write it 10. Do it until you reach 100. This will take you less than 2 minutes. It sounds overwhelming. It sounds
does.
crazy, but it will literally take you less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
Right? Because that took us what? We repeated 5 times. It took us 5 seconds, 10
yeah.
seconds max. Yeah. So do this, and then the goal is put it into practice, contextualize it, imagine yourself doing, or ideally you practice it with people, and it's gonna stick. So we've only done it 5 times, so I'm gonna quiz you again. We're gonna start from the top. Let's see how well you do. Okay.
Yes.
Marhaba.
Mumtaz.
No.
No.
Good, but Mumtaz is excellent. Excellent. So
yeah.
marhaba, marhaba. Marhaba, hello.
Okay. مرحبا.
مرحبا. شو اسمك؟
اسمي ليزا.
ممتاز.
شو اسمك؟
ممتاز. اسمي كريم. اسمي كريم.
I've forgotten his last word. Charafna.
Charafna. Very good.
Charafna.
No, very good. Now, if you wanted to break down, we haven't done the breakdown for this, but if you wanted to break down just the first part of charafna, the cha, what does that kind of sound like?
God. Cha.
Cha.
Cha-cha.
Like someone dancing cha-cha,
Yeah.
no? Yeah. So you see, like, imagine like a guy and a girl about to meet, they're dancing cha-cha, they're dancing, having a great time. They didn't get each other's names, right? So they start talking, and then, nice to meet you, cha. And then the rest we'll work on later, but charrafna. But that kind of triggers the rest of the word. It helps you.
Okay.
Charrafna. Okay, so that's charrafna. You want to learn a little bit more or later on? Up to you.
All right. Yeah, well, we're on it.
Okay, perfect. The rest is very easy, actually. If you want to say, I am from. So key thing in Arabic, we do not have the verb to be in these contexts. So we don't have am, we don't have is, we don't have are. Okay, this applies to any type of Arabic. Okay, so if you want to say I am from, you're literally saying I from. I from. That's why sometimes when you hear people that native speakers that haven't studied English for a long time, they'll say, for example, like I from
Australia,
here. Yeah, they'll skip the M, the verb to be, right? So because in Arabic, this is essentially what we're saying. So I from, you're gonna say, you know how to say I. How do you say I?
Ana.
Very good, Ana. So because you remember from Ana ismi, but we said we can kind of park Ana because ismi is already my name. So Ana is I, and then to say from, I'm just saying min. Min.
أنا من أستراليا.
ممتاز. أستراليا.
أستراليا.
ممتاز. أنا من أستراليا.
أنا من أستراليا.
Very good. You got you. The good news is you can roll the R, so that's very good news because a lot of Australian speakers or people from Australia, Australian English speakers or American English speakers, they cannot roll the R. Right? It'd be like Australia. But the fact that you can, Australia. That's perfect. Yeah, that's good. So that's something huge. So ممتاز. أنا من أستراليا. Okay. Now you remember how to say you We didn't study this, you and I, but from your Fusha class.
Nope, it's all just gone to the back of the brain
problem.
somewhere and gone to sleep.
Tamam. So we have inta. Inta is you.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, again, we
Is
distinguish.
this different to the Fusa?
Fusha has enta. Enta. So
Okay.
it's a little bit different,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
same word. So inta, and then you're going to say, how do you say from?
Min.
Very good. So we're just left with one word, which is when. When. This is how we say where in spoken Arabic. When.
Win.
When, yeah. Think of when.
Inta min wen.
ممتاز. Very good. انت من وين؟
Inta min wen.
I'm going to say أنا من فلسطين. أنا من فلسطين. From Palestine originally. أنا من فلسطين. تمام. Easy. أنتي من وين؟ أنتي من وين؟ أنتي من وين؟
Australia.
Full
Australia.
sentence.
أنا من أستراليا.
Australia. ممتاز. So part of the rules.
Australia.
Yeah, ممتاز.
Course.
We always, I tell the students, we're going to give you some tough love in the sense when we practice with them, we ask them, there's 3 rules in the class. Number 1, they answer in full sentences. So for example, what did you eat? We don't want to just hear like pizza. We want to hear I ate pizza. We want to practice the verb. Second is reciprocating. So any question you're asked, ask it back. This is how we practice. Because we just answer one word and no reciprocation. That's not a conversation. That's like an interview, right?
Yeah.
Just, where do you live? I live in Dubai. I live just Dubai, and we stop. So we want to practice. Third one, we tell students that have taken a few classes, we tell them whenever you can speak Arabic, throw in some words.
Embrace the opportunity.
Yeah, embrace the opportunity, but also in class, just throw in whatever words you know. So if you know, now you're slowly capturing these words, you know inta, you know inti, you know when, you're developing like this database of words. They're going to come up again, but in a different phrase and different context. So hey, try to dig deep, try to channel your inner language enthusiast. Hopefully you all have that. And yeah, that's the third one, just kind of speaking Arabic whenever you can.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
100%, 100%.
Because if I look back and remember the times when I learned Germany, going to Germany, I never learned it growing up. And then I said, I'm going to Germany. I went in Rome, do as the Romans do. Went in Germany, do as the Germans do. So I used the opportunity. I thought this is a great opportunity to learn a language.
Yep.
And I was all self-learned at the beginning with books and cassettes and doing my homework.
Rosetta Stone.
And then you go out and you speak it.
Yeah.
And you get a laugh. People get a laugh because you do things very wrong, so especially at the beginning. But once you've made a big mistake and you felt embarrassed about it, you'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
It really sits.
True, 100%. But
I mean, there's a couple I can think of, and I don't know if Arabic has these kind of language barriers, and you might know this learning German, that when you say something is hot, it could be heiß or it could be scharf.
Okay, I know
so
heiß.
Depending on if it's tasting hot, then it's scharf.
Interesting.
But then scharf is also slicing something with a messer. It's sharp.
Okay.
Right? And then this is the embarrassing one. When you say, it's hot, or I'm hot.
Yeah.
I'm hot in here. This room is really warm.
Yeah.
If you say, ich bin heiß.
That's something else completely.
That means, I'm hot.
Okay.
Not, I'm feeling hot, which is mir ist heiß.
Okay.
So these little things, which I'm sure you have in all languages, in Arabic 100%. As well, where you could
one little thing
take something out of context and make a fool of yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, you embrace the mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun. Do whatever, make a mistake, have a laugh. People are friendlier than we think.
Yeah.
Most people will be supportive, I think, of someone trying to learn. And if you feel stuck, just tell them, hey, I'm learning the language. In Germany, when I was in Germany, I don't speak that much, but I started learning because I have my uncle, and my uncle is from Palestine, but my aunt is from Germany. She's a German lady. So she speaks good English, but I figured, it would make things more fun to learn her language. And yeah, she was great. She was all like teaching me and all these things. But I was surprised when we were visiting, this was in Berlin, there was people who would not speak English.
Yes.
And it was so much easier for me to go out of my way and speak German. But a lot of times it'd be like, why is this guy speaking like this? Or why is he understanding? Like people would start speaking like slower, thinking I'm going to understand. So that's when I tell them, guys, I'm learning. Ich lerne Deutsch. Ich bin ein Besucher. Ich bin eine Besucher hier.
Ich bin hier auf Besuch.
Auf Besuch, okay, ja. Und ich spreche nicht so viel Deutsch.
I don't speak so much German, he's saying.
Yeah, sorry. Because I know Lisa speaks.
Right, my husband will get it.
There we go. So once you say that, people are like, oh, but good for you. You visit and you speak,
Yes.
So they start embracing that. Even if you have like the meanest person, I think they will embrace it.
Yeah.
Right.
When I first went to Germany, I was on tour as a singer, and I ended up also in what was Eastern Germany. And so it was very different to see the contrast between the ones in the former West
Okay.
had learned English in school, and even though they weren't that confident, they would speak it. They would use the opportunity, especially
Right.
when they heard how bad mine was at the beginning, then suddenly they would find their English
Yeah.
words. But when I went across to the East,
Yeah.
former East, then nobody spoke English
Right.
because they had only learned Russian
Yeah.
in the school.
Yeah.
And so I was completely stuck there if I didn't know the language. And I think that's when I learned the most because it was full immersion.
You're stuck. Yeah. There's no other option. You
Yep.
kind of have to learn,
Yeah.
progress.
Everywhere
100%.
I went, if I wanted to go shopping, just buy something, toiletries, whatever, you're there with your dictionary
that's
looking
awesome.
out, what's the word for toothpaste?
That's awesome. That's so funny because back in the day, this is what we did. Now Google Translate makes things a little bit easier.
True, yeah.
But I used to do that too. I remember my grandfather gave me like a little Italian dictionary, like this big, but it's like a thick mini book, because he was also into languages. And when I went to Italy, like I just had that, and people were like, why? Like you have Google Translate. But I was like, this is cool. I already have it.
Yeah.
So 100% embrace the mistakes, immerse if you can. Obviously, a place like Dubai is hard to immerse. You could technically if you surround yourself with enough Arabic speakers, but it's not to say that you cannot learn the language if you're not fully immersing. Like I learned Spanish to a decent degree, like intermediate level, with never living in Spain or a Spanish-speaking country, but I had a system. Like I had a system for them, which is like my own framework that I teach students now.
And that's what you teach. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
100%. Yeah. And basically, I can talk about it as well. You want me to go over that or the system or how we teach?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, amazing. So basically, we tell people we have something called the language progress triangle. And on each angle of the triangle, we have learn and then memorize and then practice. So LMP, learn, memorize, practice. Sounds logical, but a lot of people, they'll skip some steps. So you have people that through immersion, like they lived in a country where they've heard a lot of Arabic, they speak, but they're making a lot of grammatical mistakes because they haven't learned the rule, right? So they speak, but there's a lot of mistakes. Alternatively, you have the people that only learn grammar. They're focusing on the learning bit, but not practicing. So when it comes to speaking, they freeze, right? Then you have the person that memorizes only, but never doesn't really learn the grammar, doesn't learn the rule, and doesn't practice. They're gonna end up forgetting, right? It's just kind of useless. So we need all three angles working together, and then we add obviously then there's the process. So this is kind of the framework. And we have the process, and we make people stick to a 15-minute minimum daily study. 15 minutes.
Which is really doable.
100%. We call it the focus 15 though. So in those 15 minutes, you cannot be, even your phone cannot be on silent. Silent is still distracting because you will get notifications. You gotta look who messaged me, who texted me.
Yep.
You put it either on flight mode or focus mode, or just put it away. It's only 15 minutes. We can survive without our phone. But you'd be surprised how many students still be like, I didn't have time.
Oh, yeah, I know that. It happens in my programs all the time. I've got too busy.
I'm like,
it's
guys,
surprising, right?
100%. So it got me kind of digging deeper into my journey, like why some days I skip, because I started learning German in addition to Spanish. So I want to be able to skip, to continue doing 50 minutes. But some days I've skipped. I'm like, why did I skip? So all those days I skipped, I just didn't prioritize the learning. I didn't do it first thing in the morning. So I'll dive right into work, and then something will come up. Before I know it, it's like 11 p.m. I can't memorize. I can't use my brain, no brain power at that point, So I tell people it's only 15 minutes. If you'll have to get up 15 minutes earlier, that's so doable. Just go to bed 15 minutes earlier, and it will add structure to your life. Even though it's 15 minutes, doing this for 30 days, after that, it's going to be like, this is so easy.
It's a habit.
Exactly.
Habits take 30 days to set in place, and then after that, it becomes easier.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
So at that point,
in anything that we're doing in life.
Exactly. So I tell them, like, guys, this isn't just language. This will help you improve your lifestyle. This will help you with your life as well. Because once you realize how much you can do, just with 15 minutes a day, you're gonna be like, wow, this is amazing. Let me go read a book for 15 minutes, part of a book. By the end of the month, you finish the whole book. Let me go exercise for 15 minutes. That way, you can do a lot. Push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, a lot of things. So yeah, tough love with the students.
I want to go back to something in Arabic to learn. So I often have to go and meet up with let's say you're going out, you meet somebody you don't want to know their name. You're not interested to know their name, but
Yeah.
you just want to greet them.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Yeah.
كيف حالك?
Very good. كيف حالك? Yeah. كيف حالك? كيف حالك?
Good
Excellent.
morning.
Good morning. صباح الخير. This
صباح
one-
الخير.
صباح الخير.
Exactly.
For newbies, it's gonna be very
مساء
difficult.
الخير.
Very good. Very good. El khair is like goodness. Yeah. So
Right.
we're literally saying like morning of goodness, evening of goodness. Masal khair.
Okay.
But for learners, this is where there's a few challenges with Arabic. Pronunciation is one of them. So we have the letter ha, then we have the letter kha. So sabah, this is a ha, the raspy
Okay.
H.
صباح.
Almost. What happens is people try to say the ha, and then end up saying the kha. You're like sabah, but it's not sabah. It's sabah.
صباح.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Imagine
So
someone.
it's adding breath.
Exactly.
end.
And I saw a video, and a lot of people did the same video where you open a can of your favorite soda. It's cold, and you're super thirsty. You have a sip. What do you say after that? Ah. Yeah, that ah. So that ah. That's the letter ha. So sabah. The sabah. This is the morning or morning, and il khair. Sabah il khair.
Here.
Il khair. Yeah.
Here.
And depending on, so there's different
okay.
learner types, obviously. So some people learn visually, some people auditory, some people kinesthetic.
Yes.
So they like touching something, highlighting, walking. So it really depends. Like maybe some learners are like, okay, I got it. I heard it once, done. But some learners are like, no, I didn't get anything. I need to see it.
Yes.
So
I'm a bit like that. Visual.
Visual,
I have
me
to
too.
see it. Yep.
I'm visual and also like kinesthetic. So for example, like some people you notice like shake their leg when they study, or they need to play with a pen. So I'm like that. Like you see me like playing with my like a pen. I have to do something.
Yeah.
While I'm studying, but I'm still focused.
Yeah.
I walk around. I'm just me and like learning, me and my German notes. But yeah, so we really try to at the beginning of the program. Now recently we just started doing this. We'll share a questionnaire with all our coaching students. We'll be like, we just want to know what type of learner you are, because depending on this is how we're gonna format the material. If you want more visual, we're gonna tell you focus on the videos and watch the videos more. Auditory more. We're coming out with a podcast like I mentioned, so focus on the podcast while looking at the notes. Kinesthetic, we'll tell them like print out the notes. Don't just like have them on the screen. Print them out, highlight them, touch the paper, and yeah, just do something while you study.
Yeah.
I can talk about this for days with language. Really.
Okay. I want to. Okay. Executives.
Yes.
And let's say doctors or lawyers.
Yeah.
And there must be a lot of advantages for them to be able to at least communicate to a certain level with their
100%.
patients, with their clients. How do you work with someone of that level? They're not going to come just into an online self-guided learning program.
Yeah, true.
I doubt.
Correct.
Because as you said earlier, time is everything. They don't have time, but they're not interested in online learning. So how do you work with them?
100%. Great question. So yes, 100%. We don't just give them the self-paced course. This is where the one-to-one element comes into play. So this is what we call the elite coaching program, and this is where we work with you one-to-one. So we'll have essentially the program right now, but you can customize it. But out of the box, it's 1 hour live one-to-one every week. Okay. So every week, 1 hour. You can figure out 1 hour a week, no problem. But we do our best to accommodate. If you're like, you know what, I have a patient coming in, I have a meeting this time. Can I change it to this day instead of that day? We'll accommodate that. So, but we need you to stick to your 1 hour per week. And then we tell them exactly what to do. So we don't want them, we want to eliminate the friction. I don't know if you've heard the term friction in productivity. So it's the gap. So friction is the gap between intention and action.
Yes.
So we wanna shorten that gap. So a lot of times people are like, well, I forgot my password, so I couldn't log in. That automatically is a layer. You and I laugh at this as coaches, but you won't believe how many people are like, I forgot my password, so I missed 5 days of studying. Like what? Like why haven't you even like reached out?
Yeah.
So we make it even easier. We'll be like, guys, download this app. We have an app that we have like a study calendar for them. We like just hit this button. Hit a button. You're gonna see a calendar. And your calendar is gonna tell you exactly what to study. And everything is designed within 15 minutes. So it's gonna tell you memorize, it's gonna tell you watch. But all that should take you 15 minutes.
So that will be personalized to them in their app.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, 100%. So also depending on obviously the industry they're in, if someone's a doctor, we kind of try to customize more like medical terms or things they would say to a patient. So we take care of that time excuse when people are like, I don't have time. But like, do you have 15 minutes? And everybody's like, man, yeah, I have 15 minutes, of course. I'm like, okay, you can do this program. You have 1 hour a week? Yeah, I can have an hour a week. Done. So, but we don't tell them you will be fluent in 90 days.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How far?
And this
will
is
they
where
get?
people have to be very careful, because people will be like, I'll be fluent in a week. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are like the biggest scam. Be fluent. Like, nobody will be fluent in a week.
You mean
know?
there are competitors out there who are offering promises like that?
There's a lot of people out there.
Okay.
But there's language takes time. As you know, you were in Germany 7 years. I'm sure in the first week you learned a lot, but you weren't like speaking fluent,
not.
right?
Of course not.
So it takes time. But what I tell people, guys, you're gonna see progress. You're doing something every day consistently for 3 months. You're bound to see progress, and you're bound to be happy with it if you do exactly what we tell you, right? But a lot of times, like the people that don't see results, they know why they're not seeing results, because they're not doing what we're telling them. They're like, yeah, well, I slacked, I traveled, I couldn't do my 15 minutes. I'm like, guys, you travel. Now you might see the agitated Kareem, but when we travel, there's so many opportunities to study, right?
I agree.
Boarding. How long are we waiting for boarding a plane? You're waiting like you go to the gate where they're like, yeah, we're boarding now. We end up boarding in 2 hours.
Back in your hotel room. Yeah.
Hotel room, and then we're still on the plane. The plane lands.
Yeah.
Everybody gets up. Guys, where are you getting up? You could study Arabic right now. Sit down, study Arabic, take a nap. Don't get up. What are you doing? They get up, they look at the ceiling. You know, do something useful. So I tell people take advantage of the dead time. There's time that we're waiting for another action to happen. While we're waiting, you're on the train, you're on the bus, you're on the hotel room waiting for someone, you're in the lobby. There's always the dead time. Take advantage of it. Have your notes on you. Set a timer. 5 minutes. Do 5 minutes in the morning, and 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes at night. If you can't find the 15 minutes, you know. So we take care of the time element with this, with how we kind of structure everything for them, and then just changing their mindset a little bit, pushing them. You know, if they don't do the 15 minutes, we kind of like we'll kind of hold them a little accountable. Be like, guys, like what's going on in your life? You know, like talk to us.
Yeah.
You know, obviously people have bad days, but it just don't let it be a habit. You know? Okay, if you have it down, you know, you're feeling down one day, but you're still going to work. You know, you're not going to be, oh, well, you know, I was sad. I saw this movie and I'm sad. Okay, still do what you have to do. You know, so yeah, that kind of takes
Mind over matter.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so really, we've covered so many different things from learning the language itself to understanding the importance of communicating through somebody else's language and really understanding them from their perspective, and to help avoid miscommunications if you can communicate on their level.
100%.
And you'll also get to know people better when you can converse in their level, in their language.
And huge big one is trust. Yeah,
Yes.
it builds trust really, because I don't know if you heard the Nelson Mandela quote. So speak to a man in a language he understands, you'll reach his head. Speak to a man in his own language, reaches his heart.
Yes.
Speak to the heart. So man or woman obviously was
That's
should be
great
man or
advice.
woman. But yeah, so it's really trust. You know, you won't believe how many students came to us that are doctors, and they're like, you know, the patients feel so much more comfortable when we say a few words in Arabic to them, especially like locals or Arabic speakers, and with ladies specifically. You know, there's things you feel just more comfortable sharing with someone in your language, maybe. So they would say, you know, they were so happy, they felt comfortable with us, and that can really be applied to so many other professions as well. Just that trust element.
Yeah.
You know?
And you've also given us some great advice and tips for how to learn and retain information.
Yes.
And how to motivate ourselves and start to pick up better habits throughout all of our lives.
100%. It's all about habits, guys. 100%.
So, Kareem, it's been great having on the show. Thank you for sharing so much of your
My
expertise
pleasure.
and your wisdom.
My pleasure.
I want to know, if people want to get in touch with you and they want to start learning Arabic,
Yes.
how can they reach out to you?
100%. So we have, I guess most of the audience would be good for our executive coaching program. Head over to schoolofyalla.com or check us out on Instagram. We're posting daily content on there, and we have a free mini course on there that you can check out. Just walks you through some of the basics that Lisa and I spoke about. And yeah, you can start through there. Then you can email us info@schoolofyalla.com, and we'll be happy to help.
School of Yalla.
School of Yalla, Yalla.
We'll put it into the show notes so you can go just click the link and find it for yourselves.
Yes.
But it's not that difficult.
Thank you so much. 100%. You agree. There you
Kareem,
go.
thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Lisa.
Congratulations Congratulations, you've just finished another episode of Impact Through Voice. You're well on your way to making a positive impact in the world with your voice. If you want more, head on over to lisahugo.com/podcast for show notes and all the links that we mentioned in this episode. Until next time.